Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. This week I have an email from a woman who wants to get back with an ex. And she describes a lot of red flag behavior. It's a long email, so I'm going to just kind of skim through this. Here we go. My boyfriend and I were together for a year and a half. We worked together. We're deeply in love. The problem is that he's extremely jealous. If I smiled at a guy, he would get upset. He was always wanting to check my phone, and recently he started to mention that my clothes are revealing and tight. That's completely not true. I don't wear any type of revealing clothes. I tried to reassure him that I don't love anyone but him. All right, so I'm going to stop it right there because you cannot reassure someone that's behaving like this that you only love them, because it's not about anything you do or don't do. It's coming from them. Even if you're not doing anything that would be considered wrong, quote unquote, they're going to find something wrong with whatever you do, even if you blink at the wrong moment, as crazy as it sounds. You know, you could be totally covered up wearing loose clothing and he would still get upset. Whereas someone that's secure and confident, you could be wearing next to nothing and they're not going to have a problem. So these are his issues, and you can't talk him out of it by just saying, I love you. And this type of behavior, if it goes unchecked, it's indicative of abuse. This is how abuse starts, with jealousy, wanting to check your phone, wanting to control what you wear. It starts with a little bit of control, and if you give an inch, that's it. Things are just going to go downhill from there. So you have to be very careful about trying to appease someone like this, because it's not going to work. They can't be appeased. But again, because it's not about you, it's about them and their own insecurities. In fact, she goes on to say, I can understand all his fears, insecurities, because of a bad childhood and a bad experience with the girl before, but I felt my efforts were not effective. That's right, they're not. Because again, it has nothing to do with you. And a lot of people had a bad childhood, and they didn't all turn out like this. And a lot of people had bad experiences with previous partners, and they're not like this either. So don't excuse it saying, oh, well, you know, it's his past, her past, this happened, that happened. That's fine. But this person needs help. It's not going to just go away on its own. And by trying to appease them, you're just creating a monster where they're going to demand more and more control. Okay. She goes on to say that they worked together, and after they broke up after 3 months, they talked, and she told him that she missed him. And he said that he was seeing a therapist, thank God. And he was aware of how demanding he was. And they got back together, but then again he started to check the phone and commenting on how she dressed up. It sounds like he needs more therapy sessions. Then he ghosted her for a few weeks, and after that, she left him alone, and eventually she says, we sat down and talked, and he said he ghosted me on purpose. Yes, that's what ghosting is. People do it on purpose. It's not just by mistake. It's like, oh, I forgot to call you for 2 weeks. Oops. I wanted to make sure that the ghosting thing never happened again. I explained it hurt and I felt worthless. Okay, so let me stop it right there again. So self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. Notice the 3 words all have one word in common, and that would be self. The reason for that is because it comes from yourself. So no one and nothing can make you feel worthless. It's up to you to feel that you are worth something. So it doesn't matter that he ghosted you for 2 weeks or whatever anyone else does. Don't let someone's behavior bring you down, because you're dealing with someone who's flawed, fickle, and fallible. And so why would you take the actions of someone that's like that? And that's everybody, every human being. Why would you take someone's actions and let them affect you to the point where you feel worthless? The reason that he ghosted her was because he was trying to make a statement, and he was upset about something, and since obviously communication is not his forte, then he decided that he was just going to let silence do the talking. And obviously it worked because it had an effect on her. But now you know better, so don't let someone else decide your worth. You decide your worth. Okay, then she goes on to say again, the next day he grabbed her phone and started looking through it again, same old, same old. So she had some questions. She asks, I'm doing no contact until he contacts me. But how can he miss me since we're co-workers and he sees me 5 days a week? Well, just because he sees you, it doesn't mean that you are on speaking terms. So you can see someone 5 days a week, and if they're not speaking to you, you can totally miss them. So that's how you can do no contact. And she also asks, she's worried that he's seeing someone else 2 weeks after the breakup, and she wonders how he can go easily to see someone else. And that's how mainly guys deal with breakups, because women usually need time in between to think about things and to heal. But guys, that's how they heal. They just move on. So it's not about you or your worth. It speaks nothing of you. It's just about who they are. A lot of times they just want to move on. However, that's not the point. I don't think that this relationship, as it is right now, as he is right now, is worth saving, is worth wanting to get back. Because those signs that I mentioned earlier, the jealousy, the wanting to control what you wear, the constantly checking your phone, that's no way to be. You cannot be in a relationship like that. And I know that a lot of people are, and they think, oh, well, it's okay. No, it's not okay. That's not what a relationship is about. And those are signs of abuse. You should be able to wear what you want, and he can certainly comment on it, but at the end it's up to you. Or, of course, unless you're dating someone in the fashion world, then, but that's another kind of comment. No one should be grabbing your phone and checking it. Not even because you're necessarily hiding anything, but everyone deserves to have their privacy. So I would suggest strongly that this person move on, and maybe in the future, if he keeps going to therapy and his behavior changes, they might think about getting back together. But as of right now, run. So, if you have any questions or comments, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.